Do you like scary movies? If so, then Scream 6 should do the trick. Oh, but just don't answer your phone or open your front door whilst you're watching it. I'm Stephen Archibald, and welcome to my movie podcast. Hello again, and welcome to my podcast. They Came From Within, Cult Movie Reviews. Scream if you want to go faster. Scream 6, 2023. The world, sadly, lost the great horror director Wes Craven in 2015 at the age of 76. A man forever linked with Fright Pictures due to Last House on the Left, A Nightmare on Elm Street, and for directing the first 4 Scream movies, thus proving him to be one of the innovators of the genre. In Scream 2022, the directorial duties were taken up by Matt Bettinelli-Olpin and Tyler Gillett, and Kevin Williamson was supplanted on screenwriting duties by James Vanderbilt and Guy Busick. The film proved to be a critical and commercial success, so the same 4 spearheaded Scream 6, the latest instalment in the franchise. The young sisters, Sam and Tara Carpenter, survivors of the Woodsboro Legacy murders, are now residing in New York. Tara's attending Blackmore University, along with the siblings, Mindy and Chad Meeks Martin, fellow survivors of a Ghostface killer. They form part of a band of university friends, and as sure as night follows day, this group soon becomes the target of a homicidal maniac, dressed in a black robe-like garment and wearing that distinctive white ghost mask. Although the violence is largely stylised, Scream 6 manages to be hard, fast and brutal. And aside from the 1996 original, it is much tougher than any of the other movies in the series. This rather graphic approach to depicting murder kicks in from the opening scenes, in which we witness the brutal killing of a beautiful university professor, who's played by the Australian actress Samara Weaving. The inventive twists and turns in the plot commence soon after. It is such a crying shame that Neve Campbell is not in this movie, due to a pay and contract dispute. Her character Sidney Prescott plays such an integral part in the series. However, the creative efforts of the filmmakers and their clear love and respect for the franchise makes this 6th instalment work without her. And it's not beyond the realms of possibility that she could be back for the 7th. Courtney Cox does, however, make a welcome return as the intrepid reporter Gail Weathers. Gail has a significant part to play in this story, but the emphasis is very much on the Carpenter sisters, even more so than in the previous film. It's a clever device used by the writers to move the Scream series on to a new generation, whilst maintaining its appeal for older fans. During her well-choreographed fight scene with Ghostface, Courtney got to perform her own stunts. She's the only actor to appear in all 6 Scream movies, along with Roger Jackson, who provides Ghostface's unsettling telephone voice. And this is the only film in which Gail and Ghostface converse with one another over the phone. When Sam Carpenter replaced Sidney Prescott as the lead character in Scream 2022, despite Neve Campbell being in that one, it seriously polarised the fans. This intense animosity gave the makers the idea of making Sam an internet target within the film itself, with her being trolled by many who are convinced that she's the real Ghostface killer. Sam is played by the charming Mexican actress Melissa Barrera. When Melissa read the original script of this movie, she feared the character wasn't rounded or real enough, and she felt that audiences would want to know more about Sam. The writers and directors were happy to make the necessary changes for her. Sam's younger sister Tara is portrayed by the marvellous Jenna Ortega, who's recently wowed audiences and critics alike for her performance as Wednesday Addams in the darkly comical drama series entitled Wednesday. Apart from the two leads, the stand-up performance, for my money, comes from Hayden Panettiere. She reprises her role as Kirby Reed from 2011's Scream 4. Now an FBI agent, she makes a gutsy, indelible impression. The filmmakers desperately wanted Hayden to be in Scream 2022, but they just could not track her down. Hayden had worried if she could still act after a 5-year hiatus for various personal reasons. Needless to say, she should not have worried about her acting capabilities. Come to think of it, I also loved Jasmine Savoy Brown's performance as Mindy Meeks Martin, a lesbian film nerd who points out the most up-to-date rules to adhere to in a horror movie. Scream 6 is a clever film on the whole, but it doesn't entirely escape being pretty dumb on the odd occasion. For one thing, this gang of young people wander freely around New York trying to unmask Ghostface, oblivious to the fact that, often without a police escort, they are putting themselves and the public at huge risk. Such a thing occurs early on in the film, in a late-night store, when innocent individuals are dispatched by Ghostface whilst they're trying to protect the two sisters. But this is only a minor gripe of mine for a movie that has a high entertainment value. It possesses a lot of great ideas, and there is much attention to detail. For example, we get to see several Ghostface masks, which have been worn by the killers in the previous movies, some damaged, some blood spattered, and a number of them presented in different stages of decay, and the uncovering of the killer's secret museum, full of Ghostface items such as masks, robes and weapons, is another terrific touch. The group of young people at the heart of this tale are more appealing than your average bunch in a horror flick. However, it's nice to also have the acting weight of a couple of veterans. The dashing Dermot Mulroney plays Wayne Bailey, the main detective on the case. Mulroney's screen credits include Copycat, Zodiac, and Insidious Chapter 3. Plus, he starred in the TV spin-off of The Purge. And then there's the Canadian actor Henry Czerny, who portrays Sam's therapist, Dr. Christopher Stone. His screen appearances include Clear and Present Danger, Mission Impossible, and The Exorcism of Emily Rose. And on TV, he was a classy villain in the rather diverting series Revenge. Even though the events in Scream 6 are supposed to take place in New York, the film was actually shot in Montreal, in Canada. It is the first movie in the series to have been filmed outside of the States. Shooting commenced on the 9th of June and was completed by the end of August 2022. The ever-reliable Brian Tyler provided the music score in collaboration with Sven Faulkner. Scream 6 went on general release in the United States on the 10th of March of this year and was distributed by Paramount Pictures. What with it being one of the most financially successful movies in the series, a 7th instalment is inevitable. It will be interesting to see what this talented team of individuals can produce next. I'm Stephen Archibald, and thank you very much for listening to my podcast, They Came From Within, Cult Movie Reviews. Facebook and YouTube listeners, please check out my podcasts online, and feel free to follow me. Thanks again for listening, look after yourselves, and goodbye for now.